But I'm down to try Roil Cartographer. It's a card that I really have wanted to play with, and this is the best looking Roil Cartographer list. I've almost had it in a few lists that didn't quite look right. This is another MH3 card. It's a 2-mana 1/3. Landfall, whenever a land you control enters, you get an energy, tap, pay 6 energy, draw 3 cards. Kind of good to copy with Mockingbird. Also, we are already naturally playing a lot of fetch lands in the deck. Another good energy sink is nice. I think it's just kind of a good card to try. So let's just try this. How about Watcher? Watcher is definitely incorrect here. With Peace and Love. Okay, and then let's play some Suncleansers, I think. Maybe a split of Suncleanser and Boromir to like help hedge against like other sweepers. So I'm going to cut these Harsh Mentors. I really want to have 2 Flame Slashes for opposing Suncleansers. There's also a lot of Gorios online. We could play another Hearse. Maybe I don't need the answers for the opposing Suncleanser. I just have my own. This does open up the sideboard a lot. And then we could play like 1 Boromir maybe. I think the Tideshaper is good. Maybe it's a little unnecessary. Where the Sideboard Giant Killer makes sense. There's just like not enough Murktide in your Static Prison. Galvanic, like you're pretty good at killing Murktide. Probably gonna mulligan this 5-lander. Go to 5. Keepable. Be a lot better on 6. There's our Roil Cartographer. Kind of wish we were on 6 so we had that fetch land still. Just play around Bowmaster. Is it worth it to cascade into a 1/1 to play Mockingbird? Are you saying should we is the tension between Amped Raptor and Mockingbird? It's bad. It's not. It is your worst hit in the deck basically always. You're still, if you do it, you're still up in energy and you have 3 power across 2 boards. One is a 2/1 first striker, one's a 1/1 flyer. Not the worst 2-mana investment ever. And also the ability to copy Amped Raptor with Mockingbirds that you draw. I do think that is pretty real, and I don't know. I don't know how big a deal it is, I guess. So if they have Necro and just don't have a Soul Spike, we're in pretty good shape. If they don't have Necro, don't have Soul Spike, also good, of course. Yeah, you could also, yeah, you play Static Prison, like...
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
At this point, it's kind of not rocket science, I guess. You can play Amped Raptor and have some bricks in your deck and have it be okay. I think Image could be good. I mean, it's worse than Mockingbird, and I don't know that you want like a 5th copier, but yeah, that's something to think about. We also don't need other blue cards, but just like this blue direction is good to be exploring. Oh. Am I unhappy about that? I don't know. Sorry, we have to keep this Ajani, otherwise we can't flip this one. I was tempted by the flying for a second. So I think plussing this to get it out of the range of a March of Wretched Sorrow is probably good. Instead, they have Soul Spike, so didn't have the window to do something like that. I guess I'll hold this in my hand to trigger landfall. And attack for 2. My opponent's got 2 cards left in their hand. I guess I'm okay with that exchange. Is the ult still bugged? I don't know. Play patterns. Play patterns. No. Not a bad last card for us to have in the face of this grief. It's kind of funny. So, pay the 1. Then we have the ability to draw 3 cards off of this Roil Cartographer. If we do so, we are, surrendering the ring back to our opponent. Maybe I could do that like end of turn though. But at the very least, I think we're still just wanting to escape this Phlage. And why do we not attack there for 4? There's something known as toxic play patterns that the ring allows for. We had the very toxic play pattern of protection from everything. I don't think I'm gonna give them back the ring here just to draw 3 cards right now. I definitely want to, but now I can draw 3 cards and not give them a ring. Scheming Fence as sideboard card for ring decks. It's not a good answer to ring. It's like you have to untap with it to draw cards with it. It's very fragile. Just like I would rather play Needle or Flute or something like that. Draw 3 cards. Should I have Surveilled first? Maybe. So go down to 0 energy, play Roil Cartographer, go up to 4. I think I'll just graveyard this so that another Phlage is easier to escape. So if I had drawn well off my Roil Cartographer, would people be excited about it right now? Can we maybe pretend that happened? It seemed pretty fine, that game. And if we had drawn like a reasonable way at all, we'd be like, wow, this card was crazy. So I don't know. I'm going to bring in the Boromir. I kind of don't hate the first Deafening Silence. It is pretty good against Necro. It's pretty good against Profane Tutor. The Cartographer giving 1/2 energy per turn wasn't nothing. Yeah, I mean, it also drew 3 cards, so like, it's the cards were bricks, so it looked worse than it was. Tide Shaper feels good. You know what? It does like screw their turn 3 Necro pretty well. I'm in. Probably a mulligan on the draw against Necro. Kind of close. Just have a lot of better hands, including this one, I think. Okay, opponent has lead on a basic swamp. Punished for putting back land instead of Static Prison. A couple of Scurry of Gremlins in these decks. That card's pretty unplayable, I think. All right, come on, Amped Raptor. Hitting a Mockingbird would be better than hitting a 3-drop here. Hit the 3-drop. I really disagree, although I thought so too until I played it. Just wins games. The turn hits a lot of the time. I mean, it hit better, right? Because it costs 4 mana, but the card costs 4 mana. It's that it seems like enough of a reason to not play it. I don't know. I agree if you curve out into it, it's good, but like Boros is already good at curving out and winning the game on turn 4 without a card like this. Already have a Mockingbird to maybe copy Ranger-Captain next turn. We talked about Helga Brews a little bit. So I started to build it, and it just like kind of became 4-color Omnath, and I wasn't very excited about kind of just playing 4-color Omnath with Helga. But someone else was mentioning trying to playing it with Karuga, and I am actually kind of into the idea of playing Karuga with Helga, because you like always have Karuga to cast off of Helga, which triggers it. You could really pop off. And then Sign of Draco is also another like card that triggers Helga and is pretty good and interesting. So I'm going to work on that build tonight, or I'm going to plan to work on that build tonight. They took Static Prison? So that seems like a more interesting, again, more interesting than what I was starting with. So going to work on that for tomorrow, and then work on Port Mage, Shitoro, Norn the Wary, maybe. They started to do something there. Roil Cartographer, Aether Revolt, Scapeshift. Scapeshift, very infamous for needing other cards to combine with it to do something in Modern. Finally we can win the game when we cast Escape Shift and have a lot of lands in play. Okay, there's a ring. I wonder if I should Mockingbird the Dothy Voidwalker so I could cast ring if they legend rule rings here. And yeah, I don't think I need to worry so much about another copy of the ring, or even really another copy of Necro, because their life total just kind of ain't that high. They're under a lot of pressure. Because if they play another ring, what I can do is I can sack my Static Prison to make them legend roll rings, and then I can just play my own, and I can start gaining life, playing Boromir, keeping up. Oh, I can also block. Okay, so they cannot block my Dothy Voidwalker because mine has flying and shadow, but I can block theirs. One Jolted Awake for more energy synergies. Jolted Awake is not a good hit off Raptor. We already are kind of like stretching the limits of that with the 4 Mockingbirds. Also, to some extent, one big reason to play Jolted Awake is that you're better at like assembling multiple Ocelot Prides in the late game, but you no longer really like need to be able to do that. I guess, was I supposed to sack my Ranger-Captain in response to this? I don't know. Oh, I still can. So no Static Prison for you, I guess. Maybe we were okay with this, because this is just like, they get to draw a card, and I get to attack them for a lot, and they're dying to their ring, but I'm going to sack. I don't know. Brave Guy, 17 months, thank you, welcome back. Appreciate you. Like, they probably can't play another spell here. Maybe they have like a Grief or something. Okay, they do have a Grief. So I lose my precious Boromir. They've got 3 cards in their hand. I'm at 8 life. I draw a Roil Cartographer. So we'll pay for this. Gain a life, gain an energy, and let's send in, I guess. We're gonna, at this point, be committed to giving them this ring back on my next turn, but it shouldn't really be much of a problem, because they're going to be at like 5 life, probably less. Is also Pride or Guide of Souls the better card for energy? I see a lot of people asking this question. It's been asked like every day recently. It does not matter. It doesn't matter which ones are better. They're incredibly good together. Basically every deck that wants to play 4 Guide of Souls wants to play 4 Ocelot Pride, and vice versa. It's so hard to play a list without one or the other. So, oh no, Shieldred is just a nightmare. I can't Yeah, I can't get my Static Prison back. Okay, so they are going to go to 7, and then I can put them down to 1. Guide, no question. It's not no question. It's very close, but again, it doesn't matter because they are just so good together. You never have to choose between the two. It's not a conversation that like has any end because it's very rare that you want to play one without the other. In fact, you could probably say You could say Ocelot Pride is a better card overall because in theory it could go in more decks than Guide of Souls. I don't know. Oh, they also have Soul Spike. Okay, let's go to game 3. Glows with Twitch Prime. Thank you. Welcome back. What's there out to them gaining 6, them drawing poorly, and then we get to kill them next turn. Let's go game 3 on the play. Yeah, it just doesn't matter because you'll never have to choose to play one or the other, or one over the other. You'll just play all of them in all your white decks. And also with Guide of Souls and also Pride, each one individually would be a lot worse if the other one didn't exist. Okay, put them all to 6. Can you get back the card in exile by the other Dothy Voidwalker and play my Static Prison? I don't think so. I think it's only opponent's cards. Okay, nice gives me a good turn this turn. We're gonna have time for ban control day, I bet tomorrow. I'm not sure. Tough. I guess it's still a 2 for 2, but tough. Shambling Ghast. Okay, well, let's hope they don't have land. Land ring, or land, or maybe tower ring or land necro. Gonna get this so that I can get my blue-white surveil land and still be able to escape a Phlage. I'm gonna get a Mockingbird. Start to do the Mockingbird Ranger-Captain thing, and I'm not gonna sack the Mockingbird right now. My opponent, if they miss their land drop, I probably can't attack with the Ranger-Captain, right? So I'm gonna play the hub, and then let's go ahead and cast Ocelot before I play the second Mockingbird. So that if my opponent kills my Ranger-Captain in response, I can at least copy the Ocelot Pride. Okay, deal. I think my plan of just not attacking into the gas for one more turn makes enough sense. I think I want to wait one more turn before I start trying to sack Ranger-Captain every turn. Although it could be right to do it now. It feels really borderline. Thoughts the Tide Shaper seems awesome. Mockingbird is just better. Like, would you rather tutor Tide Shaper or tutor Ranger-Captain? Although it seems to not matter now. Is there a good 1-mana creature to counter the ring? The only thing is Haywire Might, I guess. But yeah, whatever we take is getting griefed, I guess. But maybe not. Maybe they wouldn't grief there if we had gotten that. Alright, so I guess we'll see if we find Phlage before I Static Prison this Ghast. But I'm going to Static Prison the Ghast. Probably. They got one card in their hand. There's a really good chance it's a Necro. But it could be basically anything that costs more than 2 mana. I guess maybe it could be something that's castable if they're not F6'd. It was a Necro. So are they going to be able to stabilize here when they're facing this pressure? If they don't find a Soul Spike now, when we hit them for 6 more points, it's going to be a lot tougher. They draw 5 cards. And I draw a pretty above average one here. I guess I could give them back this maybe because they don't get to trigger it, but it seems better to not give them a blocker for this. Opponent is not only down to 4, but down to 1, thanks to this top-decked Phlage. So those 5 cards in your hand had better be good, opponent. Even if they go land Shieldred, they're dead because they can't pay any life. And be yielding if I had the captains. Yeah, you're right. We should be able to fizzle Soul Spike, but I don't think I yielded. I might have. If I did, I should not have been. I agree. So goodbye to my Phlage. They didn't have a Soul Spike last turn, though. How could they have one now? Okay. My opponent asks themselves the same question and then concedes. Okay, on the play, let's click the keep button. Okay, opponent's on a multi-6. Sacking the turn prior was maybe... No, I think it was still right. I wonder if they were supposed to like dig deeper for a Soul Spike there. Maybe Necro's overrated. It's good to do this, that if we hit a 3, we can cast it off the Raptor. Of course, it's a little bit worse if we hit a Discharge. We could just copy the Raptor next turn, maybe. Okay, so not casting Static Prison, +2 energy. +2 energy is a lot better, I guess, with the Roil Cartographers in the deck now. My opponent's playing Boseiju Saga Halfling. Looks like Nadu. Have not played against Nadu in a little while. Could be a good turn to Phlage the Halfling. Yeah, I think I want to save the Static Prison. You don't gain energy if the Static Prison doesn't have a target. Mingushi tested it. Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't cast it. Although casting it to put a card in the yard is not worth nothing. But good to know for chat, too, that you don't gain energy if it doesn't have a target. We were doing that back when testing with Dingo. We were on that, too. Okay, so has some blockers. They're autoing, not the most interesting to commentate over here. They get a basic forest. I guess that means they're going to try to chord for 1 here. So let's Mockingbird. So there's our Roil Cartographer. So we get to draw 3 cards next turn. And we get a little bit rewarded for not playing the Static Prison out last turn. I guess I do this pre-combat, because if my opponent is going to go chord for Sylvan Safekeeper, then they don't get to chump block a Raptor. Also, of course, as soon as I cut the Harsh Mentors from the board to play against Nadu for the first time this week, is what it is. We do get to get our 5th card in the yard with the Static Prison for Phlage next turn. My opponent has no blue mana, but they could maybe have another chord. They also had the ability to get blue mana last turn, so it's hard to imagine that that's actually their bottleneck here. Enjoy it while it lasts. Okay, so we're gonna bring in the Tide Shaper for the sagas. After Magic Online, even Magic Online is doesn't want to continue. And then it is certainly the case that we are not. We just had a bunch of Harsh Mentors. We cut them because they're very unpopular leagues. It is what it is. White Orchid Phantoms could be like, okay. The flying is kind of nice. Killing the saga is kind of nice. Not super easy to get them off a bunch of basics, I guess. I think I'll play a couple copies over the Roil Cartographers, though. I think Springheart will still be playable. I mean, we played a Springheart deck earlier today without Nadu. I do think the card will still be playable, yeah. Very cool card. Okay, on the play. Clicking the keep button. Going through the motions. Why did they not do an emergency ban? Yeah, Nantuko plus okay, so they have a Shuko naturally, so blowing this up is not the most important probably. The world is our oyster here for sure. I'm gonna play 2 instead of playing Mockingbird on my Ocelot. And I guess I should just have that 2 be Ajani. Gonna laugh with Nadu isn't even on the next Breenar. I mean, you know what? That might happen. And if it happens, I'll probably switch to a different format for a while or something. I don't know. It's been a while since I've done that, but gameplays against it's pretty bad. So if we kill something with the Phantom, they get a land. So I'm pretty sure we're supposed to legend roll the Ajani. And then also we get to copy Ocelot Pride. We do get to like really do a lot here, but if they just have the Nadu, we're probably dead. They could feasibly brick, although it's really tough with the Springheart Nantuko. Just kind of talking. Oh no, sorry. I got all excited to tap better than this, but I definitely meant to be able to Mockingbird my Ocelot Pride. Sorry about that. I guess it doesn't matter all that much. Because I'm just going to die to Nadu anyways. Pioneer time, yeah. Are there any good formats besides Modern? Besides Modern? Standard Streamer? Yeah, the last time I changed Modern because I thought the format was just really bad was when... It was a long time ago in Modern Horizons 1. With the Urza Oko Astrolabe Mystic Sanctuary deck. That deck was just too much. Cube? Could be a cube gamer. Yeah, I mean, Timeless seems pretty yikes mode too. Used to be good. It's okay, you know. We'll lose to Nadu every once in a while. Giving this one a go. Oh yeah, we can finally enter our dual commander arc. I mean, for dual commander fans, the best thing, or I guess if you want to see me play dual commander, you should be rooting for no Nadu ban. That seems to be overwhelmingly the most likely way for that to happen. Kind of tricky what to lead on here. I think I should go Fountain Guide of Souls, because if I draw another land, we can Raptor next turn, or we can... Probably not going to Roil Cartographer next turn, I guess. Oh, I just realized they're playing Utopia Sprawl also. They fetch a Forest main phase. Don't mind this Roil Cartographer. Oh yeah, Nadu's also probably a huge problem in Commander. Right. It does seem like really crazy because it's like you just like play it and then you get to ramp a lot, and then if you're, it's like, what is your opponent really going to do about it? Static Prison seems pretty good. We can probably Static Prison next turn though. The upside with this Raptor is obviously just really high. Have like really not many, if any, bad hits besides I guess another Galvanic Discharge or a Mockingbird. I think Nautilus supposed to be pretty bad in CEDH. I don't know enough about CEDH to comment, I guess. That would surprise me, though, to hear that wouldn't be playable. Oh, Nadu's banned in Dual Commander? Man, they're really on top of it, huh? Yeah, Mockingbird's worded in a way that you can, if you cast it off Amped Raptor, you can't copy a 1-drop. Which does make it worse, but it's also good to copy Amped Raptor, so I just haven't been worried so much about the detention, I guess. Keep this. Zurgo Bellstriker is banned as a commander in Dual Commander. That is so funny. Come on, you gotta let people play Zurgo. Zurgo has gotta be. There's no way Zurgo is ban worthy. So Ragavan must be banned too, right? Should look closer at the ban list, I guess. Relic of the past kind of thing. I see. I see. Ooh, that's another basic. There's a good chance they are out. What to play here? Probably one of my 3-drops, right? Not sure how much of a thing mana efficiency actually is in a Trinisphere matchup. But Mockingbird makes Ranger-Captain a lot better against Trinisphere too, I guess. And then if my opponent plays I guess I don't know. They're playing Utopia Sprawl. Maybe they are playing a lot of basics. Okay, they're I guess just definitely playing a lot of basics. I think I'm going to go ahead and Mockingbird the White Orchid Phantom. Got to spend 3 mana because of the Trinisphere. This may be their last basic if they... Okay. Maybe not. Okay with the trade because I've got the Phlage to fill up the yard for, of course. Everyone's thinking about not blocking, so this non-block signifies that they might have All Is Dust. I don't think I'm going to sack Ranger-Captain to play around an All Is Dust here. I think I'm just okay with the yard getting kind of filled up. Another one of these. Not too often you just see 6 basic lands on the other side of the table in Modern. Yeah, delaying the All Is Dust is actively bad, I agree. Good way to put it. Okay, they have 7 basic lands now. And they're spending 7 mana to Worldbreaker, one of my blue sources, but this does not stop my Phlage from coming back. Red, red, white, white. Rumble revealing Ugin's Binding, Worldbreaker, Kozilek's Command, Ugin's Labyrinth. So milling over the binding, put Worldbreaker into their hand. 5, 6, 7, or 5, 6. So they're 1 mana short of casting this Worldbreaker, which would get to bounce everything back to my hand. So I mean, I'm going to attack. I'm going to hit my opponent for 3. I'm gonna gain 3. And then I think I'm just gonna Mockingbird, copy my Phlage, and then hit them for 3 again. What kind of mic do I have? It's a Shure. I don't know if it's pronounced Shure or Shure. Yeah, Breaker has reach. But also, I don't have flying in play at the moment. And I have no way to get energy because of the Trinisphere. My opponent says GG's, and then hopefully they didn't just untap and try to find Devourer of Destiny, which is good for me. Or Kozilek's Command. I'll take it. The Mockingbird. Okay, I'm going to keep this. We're on the play. Another Energy Mirror. Last time we played this, the matchup seemed pretty good in our favor. Mockingbird was just kind of incredible to have. Still don't know about the Roil Cartographers. They have not necessarily seemed better than Pippin or whatever, but maybe this will be a good game for it. We're certainly popping off here. Server's been okay. We did get to draw 3 cards off of it one time. It's like a little off plan because we're like kind of an aggro deck that's playing this like card draw effect, but I don't know. 6 energy's a lot. Haven't drawn it that much off either, I guess. Okay, I guess what I want to do now is go Cartographer into Static Prison, their Static Prison. We don't jump the Ocelot Pride because it makes a removal spell much better for them. Not that it seems very unlikely they have one. Oh, okay, well, played around it. They hit a Galvanic Discharge. Probably going to go after my guide. Does go after my guide. 6 energy left in the pool. No life gained. Yeah, I think maybe it is better to go with Ajani Static Prison. Okay, I'll go with Ajani Static Prison. Take 4 down to 5. They're super behind on board. Call it the Unplayable Fable. Okay, going to game 2. So we no longer have Flame Slash for opposing Suncleansers. I don't know if that's right. That's why I had the Flame Slashes before. But I really missed not having Suncleansers against the Wrath of Skies deck, so kind of just can't have cards for everything, of course. I'm going to bring in these 6. I'm going to cut the Cartographers. I'm going to cut 2 Static Prisons. Maybe cutting a Phlage is okay if they're bringing in their own Graveyard Hate. I'm not sure about that, but I kind of don't want to cut anything else, so... Like, I don't want to cut a Captain, a Ajani, Raptor, Cleanser, Hearse. I guess I could just play 2 Hearses. 2 Hearses would be probably okay. Just have the 3rd Hearse before. Gorios. Which could maybe that could be like a surgical. Although Hearse is better with Raptor. I want 30 card sideboards. 30 is a big jump from 20. Sorry for getting too math focused on you. All right, card advantage. Isn't prison your only answer to Suncleanser? Oh, right. For some reason I was thinking it can't answer Suncleanser, but if you already have the energy, it does. Yeah, I guess. So I don't want to play Amped Raptor before I get an energy here, so I think I'm just supposed to play Ajani. Yeah, sorry. I think most of my energy experience has kind of been before there's been a million Suncleansers everywhere. Okay, let's go to combat, and I think what I'll just do is go Guide of Souls, Ocelot Pride, and then if they kill the Ocelot Pride, I guess they'll kill the Guide of Souls if they have removal here. Maybe that's okay. Don't think I'm gonna Galvanic Discharge just to flip a Johnny though. Yeah, I've seen Dax Energy Bolas Citadel deck. It looks pretty cool and not very good. It's like a lot of these combo decks are, certainly a lot more interesting if. Okay, do I want to flip the Ajani now? I don't think so. Could just Static Prison. Their Static Prison maybe. A lot of those kinds of decks are more interesting if they or they're better when they're not a known quantity, right? Like if your opponent is like, what are they doing? They've Goblin engineered for Bolas' Citadel. I have no idea how to play against this. So like these decks are a lot better like when your opponents just have no idea what's going on. But as soon as your opponents know what's up, if they have an idea on how to play around this stuff, these decks always get so much worse. And so it's like if you're Dak, you're the one that brewed it, you get to feel really good and you get to play them and you get to show off the idea and you get to have kind of like a higher win rate than you would otherwise because your opponents are like fumbling. But once it's more of a known quantity, you lose that dynamic. So, because Dak is brooded and people kind of know what's up, it's not something I'm as interested in because you just kind of lose that surprise factor that you need for those kind of decks to be good. And I know because I have brewed a lot of decks like that, of course. Okay, let's see if we can get a back-to-back 4-1 prediction going. I will say that we've crushed both of our energy opponents so far. Mockingbird has been a pretty big part of that too, I think. All right, well, I am keeping this on the draw. They're not a deck that's playing. I mean, it depends on what they're playing, but there's a good chance I'm going to play Ocelot Pride on turn 1. Although now that they just have the blocker, we'll play. I mean, it is just really bad if they kill the Guide of Souls, but if they do kill the Guide of Souls, we can go Ocelot Pride, and then we can try to copy. We can cast Mockingbird, and if they kill my Guide of Souls, then a flying Ocelot Pride can get the ball rolling a little bit. Although we may just be up against Nadu again here, which is kind of weird, and have not played against it a lot lately. Those look like it's Nadu. It is kind of like last thing we have 3 Harsh Mentors. Don't play against Nadu all week, and then we're like, okay, well, maybe we could just cut the Harsh Mentors for now. And that's the only league we play against Nadu twice. Is what it is. It's a pretty interesting pickup. I am going to go for this instead this turn. Just double Ocelot Pride, I think, and then Next turn we get to play third Ocelot Pride, Super Duper City's Blessing, and also Static Prison. RCQ's inserts this weekend not to be more popular now. Yeah, that's probably a good guess. No Bestow is interesting. Do I even care about this bill at all? I guess it's a Nadu enabler. It's their only Nadu enabler. Also, if I draw a red source, am I supposed to Ajani or Amped Raptor instead of playing the third Ocelot Pride? Probably should play the third Ocelot Pride because we'll just have lethal and play the following turn. Better than the average top deck. Okay, so we'll attack with both Prides. We'll give flying to the non-Mockingbird Pride here. And then hit my opponent for 4, make a million tokens, gain a million life, gain a million energy. And then the next step is to hope that we don't die. All right, that worked. Shout out Mockingbird. All right, so I think I'm just gonna bring in some anti-saga cards, cut these Roil Cartographers, hope for the best. Certified Commander Horizons moment. I guess Mockingbird is an honorary Modern Horizons card because it just copies Modern Horizons cards. Pippin didn't perform as expected. Pippin was fine. I just mostly want to be testing other options in blue. At the moment, it kind of seems like you probably like the only card that you should maybe be splashing for is Mockingbird because Pippin is like fine. Is it better than like Ragavan or better than Unstable Amulet? Probably not. But it also like the first maybe you just play like 1 or something. You could play more Teferis also. There's just like a lot of directions you could go. And Pedro, 2 months, they go back. There's a lot of directions you can go. And I'm not really trying to assert that the Pippins were correct, but I was trying to assert that it was good to be testing. Kind of close between Guide and Pride because I'm gonna Phantom next turn. But probably getting our energy up and starting to fly is more important than playing this. And if they have Wall of Roots into Halfling or just Halfling, then the Ocelot Pride is pretty bad. Mockingbird doesn't work with Raptor. So if you copy Raptor with Mockingbird, it does work. It doesn't work if you cast Raptor or cast Mockingbird off Raptor. You can only copy tokens, or you just have a 1/1 flyer, which is not very good, but also not the worst case scenario ever. Just main deck Consign. Well, you can't main deck Consign with Raptor in your deck, probably, is the problemo, which is why we're on Phantom over Consign. No, Kitsa's not good in this deck. Like, we have no Flame of Anor, we have no Mox Amber, we have very few spells to trigger prowess. This just is not a Kitsa deck. I'm not going to play Death and Taxes and Pioneer. Well, let's see what the BNR is. Blank. I don't even want to think about it. Okay, there's Nadu. So they're going to chord for Safekeeper. Are they going to trigger Nadu? Oh my god. Game 3. When's the BNR? It's like the 3rd week of August. Yeah, 3rd week. I think it's the 22nd, but that's a Thursday. So maybe my memory is wrong. But mid to late August. Few copies of No More Lies to combat opposing Phlages. We have Hearse. I don't even know what No More Lies does. Oh, that's the mana leak. Don't suggest counter spells in the Amped Raptor deck. I'm not going to put them in. The 26th. That's the Monday of the last week. Damn it. This is maybe a winning hand. Okay, I was hoping for a Delighted Halfling. Was not lucky enough to see a Delighted Halfling here, but I guess we will Ajani, and then we can flip Ajani with the bird. Yeah, the Magic Online official Twitch chat has been like unusable for years. It's just like the most horrible place of scum and villainy in the Magic space. Maybe not the most, but up there. Right, seems like a pretty easy Static Prison Mockingbird. I guess we Mockingbird post-combat. Good chance I'm plussing the Ajani next turn. I think we minus this turn. Yeah, so when you Mockingbird Ajani, you have to keep the original one, otherwise the Mockingbird doesn't have anything to transform into. Anything else, opponent? Seems like they got something else. I thought clones can transform. I don't think they can transform into like the exile versions. Maybe they can like just transform in general. Okay, so I can go Mockingbird, copy Guide of Souls, get an energy. Galvanic Discharge for 2 more energy. Jump this, win the game. Is it ever better to make a token? Like, what can they even have? Not really anything. Although I'm presenting lethal just by making a token. So I can do this and then still have the discharge up. So I guess we'll do that. Well, they are making a mana. They're going to Beseiju my Static Prison. Okay, so when this Wall of Roots comes back, my opponent will be able to Court of Calling for 1. What could they have if they Court of Calling for 1? There's not much. Seems like I might as well kill the bill now. Safekeeper? Yeah, I mean, Safekeeper doesn't stop them from dying, right? Yeah, Birds of Paradise. That would get there. Not that it's very likely for them to have that card. But now they've already used this Wall of Roots for mana, so they can Court for 0 for Dryad Arbor, which doesn't do anything. So I think this should get there. Okay. 4-1 to both leagues. beat Nadu one time, lost to Nadu one time. Bird of Owl is anti-run of attack, reasonably common Nadu list. Yeah, it's just not in every list, right? Yeah, they could do Spore Frog, I guess. Okay. Okay, so at the very least, and this is kind of what my thinking was going into today. Mockingbird, very good in this archetype. Very good in this archetype. I don't know if there really is any other card that's like super worth splashing. I don't know. Cartographer didn't feel very good. Pippin's okay. You still have flex spots, I guess I should say. You still got flex spots. We can open the chest, but we are on the Daybreak account, so we can't really use them. Could stare longingly at what could have been. And what might be tomorrow. Cirque with the 5 months. Thank you so much. Well, Snapcaster. I mean, we have 4 targets for Snapcaster. It would be very different from where we're at right now. We play Mockingbird or Mardu right now. I mean, I would be testing Mockingbird more. I still think Orzhov is underrated. But I think we're going to pause here for today. We're like 5 hours into the stream. Maybe if like the backup deck here was like not like Bant control, we would we would try to get another league in, but